Alrighty, welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. This week, we're on episode 23, making waves on episode 23. I am joined today by producer Jack and myself, TY. As you guys all know, thank you guys for tuning in on this beautiful Sunday. We're so happy to be here. Got lots of stuff to talk about today. Unfortunately, Big Drip is not going to be here today due to some scheduling conflictions, but that's okay. We will move on happily. Lots of stuff went on this week. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It seemed like it was kind of a slow week, and then all of a sudden, all this news hits out of nowhere. You know, we got Chris Evans, and then we have a bunch of other stuff happening, a bunch of new series coming up. So a lot's happening despite all the craziness happening in the world of politics. Sometimes pop culture kind of flies under the radar.
Yeah. I stayed up all night. Well, not all night, but I ended up getting lost in this HBO documentary called Agents of Chaos.
Okay.
And I mean, it's riveting. I highly recommend it. It is about politics and it's about the Russia troll factory and how it influenced the 2016 election. It was a wonderfully made documentary, and I'm not like a huge politics guy, but it really was captivating, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. At one point, I hit pause to see how much time was left, and there was like 5 minutes left, and I was like, no! I wanted to keep going. Turns out that was just part one. There was a part two. Oh, wow. I was super excited. It was so good. So if you like that kind of stuff, I highly recommend HBO Max's Agents of Chaos. Really, really good stuff. But what do we got going on this week, my friend?
Well, there's a lot of smaller stuff going on. FX, now owned by Disney, is bringing a new sci-fi series, and they're getting the writers from the Queen's Gambit, which is a popular Netflix show. I'm about 2 episodes in. It's very interesting. And the director of Chernobyl. And they're going to adapt a novel called The Sparrow, which follows a group of Jesuit priests and scientists who make contact with an alien species in the near future. This is kind of exciting because the Queen's Gambit, of course, was really popular. It was trending in the top 10 for Netflix. And then you got the director of Chernobyl. If anyone's ever seen the series. Chernobyl, wonderful.
Oh,
so you have sort of like the best of both worlds coming here together in terms of writing and directing. And it's going to be on FX. It's going to be good. FX, of course, is giving us stuff like Nip Tuck, Sons of Anarchy. So, I was kind of worried.
I love The Strain.
Oh, wonderful. The Strain.
Such a good show.
That was a show I think I finished in like 2 weeks. I just started binge watching it and I loved it. And I was a little bit worried because Disney is buying FX. Are they still going to do that edgy stuff? And the answer is yes.
Woo!
That's pretty cool. Saved by the Bell fans are going to be sad to hear that Dustin Diamond, he was famous for playing Screech, has been diagnosed with cancer. Ooh. And Mario Lopez is sending support towards him, and just kind of came out of nowhere. He's a relatively young actor. He's probably in his late 40s now, pushing 50. But Dustin Diamond is suffering with cancer, and he confirmed it on the 14th that he has been diagnosed. So we wish him well.
Yeah, that's terrible.
In other news, so I'm not a big Sex and the City fan. I've done Sex and the City events, and it has a huge following. There was news that they're doing a revival, but it turns out Kim Cattrall, who played Samantha, is not doing the revival. And a lot of fans are upset. They're saying you can't do Sex and the City without Kim Cattrall. Jennifer Coolidge is rumored to possibly replace her character. Now, Jennifer Coolidge is a great actress. She would do a good job, but the show is those 4 women, and without Kim Cattrall, it might not work. So right now, it's in a situation where Sex and the City, it's still happening, but it might not be with the cast that everyone loves.
When did that show wrap up?
Oh boy, I want to say 2004, 2005, because I know the second film came out in 2008. It was on when I was in grade school in the late 90s. So
Oh,
the show's been on for a long time. And Sex and the City, the movie, was really popular. Sex and the City 2, I know a lot of fans did not like the second film. I think the revival would be on HBO. It would be a 10-episode series on HBO Max. I mean, HBO Max has got so much stuff now, but a revival of Sex and the City would be a big deal breaker for a lot of fans from the 90s and onwards.
yeah. Yeah, that's a huge property for, you know, marketing towards mature women.
Yeah.
Um, and even some younger women.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
good on
When,
them.
when I did the events for Sex and the City, we did Sex and the City trivia night. There was a mix of like older women and younger women, like girls in college and stuff, who love that show, whether they watch it because of their moms or whether they watch it because of their older sisters. But it's a really big, it's got its own board game, and that show doesn't get the credit it deserves. A lot of people, when they talk about HBO becoming like groundbreaking, they talk about The Sopranos, and The Sopranos was groundbreaking. But I think that Sex and the City doesn't get the credit it deserves in helping HBO, because The Sopranos and Sex and the City are two very different shows.
Right.
And they even had Oz. They were sort of like the trio of shows that put HBO on the map as not just a place to watch movies you don't want to rent.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And I for some reason in my head I was like, didn't that show just end like a couple years ago? But I mean, I just never paid attention to it. That's just me though.
Well, people still talk about it like it's like in the way they talk about Game of Thrones, like it's just one of those shows that I think, especially with female audiences, it does have a male following too, but it's just one of those shows that people talk about it. And yeah, you're right. It does feel like it ended recently, not that
Yeah.
long ago, but it's been a while
Timeless.
now.
Yeah,
Time flies.
time. It's one of those timeless shows that doesn't matter if it ended a year ago or 10 years ago, people still watching it.
Exactly. So remember that David O. Russell film that has every actor in it that's supposed to be coming out? We don't even know what it's called. It added more actors. They've added Robert De Niro, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy, who of course was in The Queen's Gambit, and Michael Shannon.
Jeez.
So that it was already a big cast. They had John David Washington, who recently was the star of Tenet, Christian Bale, Margot Robbie. We still don't know what the movie's going to be about, but they just added all these people. And at first, I was kind of surprised to see Chris Rock's name.
Yeah.
But then recently, Chris Rock was in the fourth season of Fargo, and apparently he's a phenomenal dramatic actor. So far, we've only seen comedy films from him, and we know stand-up, but we've never seen him do a serious dramatic role. So it's impressed enough people because this looks like it's going to be a big drama. I mean, he's going to be alongside De Niro and Michael Shannon. You got some Oscar winners there, Christian Bale. So
yeah, wow, what a weird and the fact that we don't know what the project is yet, it's attached, all these huge names is really, it's striking.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be interesting because David O. Russell is keeping it under wraps. And apparently it's an original project. It's not like it's based off a book or anything like that. So I'm very curious to see what they have lined up.
Yeah, me too.
Patrick Dempsey is talking about playing Prince Charming again. So if everyone remembers in 2007, or it was around 2007, they had the Enchanted film. He's got the script for the second movie, which will be called Disenchanted. I never saw Enchanted. I know it was really popular. Did you ever see it?
No.
I never saw it either.
I see it.
There was a period in my life where I just stopped watching Disney movies, and then you get older and you start watching the older ones.
Yeah. I always see it on like, if I'm browsing through stuff, like it always pops up randomly, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that. but I know it's popular.
Yeah, and apparently it is a children's movie. Was that the one with I think I'm mixing up Enchanted and Ella Enchanted, which I think are two different movies.
They are, yeah.
Wrong. Yeah, so never mind. Let's go over that. Netflix has gotten the rights to the movie Heart of Stone, which is an espionage thriller that was developed by Skydance Media, and it stars Gal Gadot. So that's a big win for Netflix, because right now Gal is hot. And I'm not just talking physically, like she's on fire right now. She's, in Wonder Woman. She's going to be, there are rumors she might return to the Fast and Furious franchise. She's right now you could argue at peak, and Netflix has got the rights for her new movie. And I'm kind of interested to see her in a spy thriller. I'm kind of curious how she would do, because I think she would kill it.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything she can't do right now that people won't go and see.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. The Cleopatra movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect casting, because she is of Middle Eastern descent. She is Israeli, and she's basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Mediterranean. She looks Mediterranean, and Cleopatra was Macedonian Greek. So the Greeker, but they have a little bit more. They're white, but they have a little bit more color in them. So I thought that's perfect casting, and she can play a queen.
Yeah, and she's gonna be in that other film. It's like the somewhat follow up to Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh,
yeah, it's the same detective, but it's called something else. I think it's like I can't remember what it's called, but the trailer looks good. It's not like it's not a crazy action movie, but it's like it's definitely a whodunit style film.
Yeah, and I like the original Murder on the Orient Express, and I like the one that Kenneth Branagh did too. It didn't get as much love because you're remaking a classic film. I mean, Gal right now I already said it, but like, she's on top of the world right now. The Murder on the Orient Express sequel just seems great. I mean, I love those type of Agatha Christie, style, stories, whether it's the books or the films. And Gal Gadot, we've seen her in a period piece with Wonder Woman 1984. And if it's going to be set around that same era, sort of turn of the 19th century, I think she'd look great. And that's what's so great about her. She can fit into anything, whether it's Cleopatra, whether it's Wonder Woman, whether she's in Fast and Furious, spy thriller. Yeah. She and all the problems people have with Wonder Woman 1984, no one is blaming her. No one is saying, "Oh, she's what made it awful." Everyone knows that she's just an actress playing a script.
Exactly. 100%. Again, she was not the issue of that film. It was definitely the choice of story and script. I can't do anything about that as an actor. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. could, he could throw his weight around, or Sam Jackson could, but I mean, Gal is, arguably she could as well, but she's just not in that place right now, especially in her career, where you said she's peaking, or she's at peak,
or she's
I still think she's about to be. So
about to be. Yeah.
So I give it to her. Nothing wrong with her. I even thought she's displayed a little bit more depth in this film, in this Wonder Woman film, than before. So, there was a new show called Mr. Mayor. It's an NBC Universal sitcom that Tina Fey co-created. Its ratings quadrupled after the premiere. It stars Ted Danson. I personally had no interest in watching this, but apparently the first episode was really good and the ratings quadrupled. So it's kind of interesting, because really right now, no one's really talking about sitcoms. I can't think of the last time people were talking about a network sitcom. Especially one made by NBC, like that era of The Office and Friends. It's Community.
Community. Like, it's all seems to have disappeared. But I don't get into sitcoms as much, and it's very rare that a sitcom gets me. But I'm kind of curious, what Mr. Mayor is like. Folks, if you've seen it, let us know. Did you see Mr. Mayor?